And welcome back to the Hit Squad, the final segment. Chad Range alongside Ryan Sutton. This segment brought to you by Metrogistics, vehicle transportation solutions delivered. And we'll just get right to it. Real excited to have on the line with us. He's a fighter in the UFC 167 main card out in Las Vegas. Tyron Woodley. Tyron, you there with us?
I'm here with you guys. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Thank you for taking some moments to talk with us. Obviously, you're getting ready for Josh Koscheck. Talk about your game plan going in as you get ready to take on Josh.
My game plan is just basically to use every tool in the toolbox. I think in past fights when I've came out, I've given everybody a taste. And in some fights, I didn't give enough of a taste. And I think that this fight is just, the whole team has been putting everything together. Whether it's punching volume, whether it's forward pressure, whether it's explosiveness, we're just looking to put it all together 15 minutes straight, and then come out with the victory and start being a squeaky wheel and get another high-profile fight.
Well, good. Tyron, you mentioned your explosiveness. You looked razor-sharp explosive in your last fight. Koscheck, on the other hand, has looked, obviously solid and explosive in the past, but seems to have lost a little bit of that pop and crispness. Is that something you're expecting to really rely on, is maybe a little bit of edge and explosiveness and pep in your step, if you'd like to call it that?
This whole camp, we've been really identifying that me and Koscheck are very similar in so many different aspects, in that for me to try to expound upon one area will be a waste of time. So, me to out grapple him or out strike him or out, explosive him. I just got to be just a little bit faster, just a little bit stronger, just a little bit sooner to the punch in every exchange, in every situation. And I think those little small incremental gains that I've made in training camp are going to make the world of difference. If he's thinking about punching, I'm thinking about punching. And I just so happen to get there a millisecond before he does. I'm there first. I'm hitting first, and I'm getting my combinations off, and I'm not, having to defend his. So, for me, it's just focusing on that. I think we've done that, and I think we've done a little bit more than that. Just getting comfortable with the combination in the paint and also, the counters.
We have Tyron Woodley on the line. He is fighting Josh Koscheck in the UFC 167 main card. Now, you guys are kind of different places in your career. You are on the up and up as well. Josh Koscheck is, people are saying if he loses this, is he kind of headed out the door? So you have to think that he's really going to bring his A game against you. Are you expecting that if you beat him, that it's done for him? And like you said, you're on to the next high-profile fight.
I think Koscheck has had, a great relationship with the UFC. He's been a guy that's taken a lot of last-minute fights. That holds a lot of weight with the UFC. I think I always expect my opponents to come out and bring their A game. I expect him to be the best. I expect him to be better than his last couple losses. I'm not preparing for a guy that's on his way out. I'm not preparing for a guy that's, off 2 losses and just, washed up. He's still very much a dangerous opponent. He has a great, chin. He's been flashed a couple times recently, but, overall he takes a good shot and he recovers fast. And he gets right back on the wheel. So I think for me it's not really focusing so much on, what he's up against, but I'm focusing on myself. It's not about, trying to stop him because he's trying to get his good foot back on. And I think he should be around. He can even fight like Damian Maia, who he was set up to fight with Jay Shields. He can fight, the winner or freaking. Winner or loser, Rick Story versus Evers. So there's tons of fights out there for him still. I think we'll see him hang around still because he loves it. But I think as far as his stamp being made, his legacy being made, what he's going to do in the sport, he's already done. I'm using this fight to catapult me and to give me the opportunity at a world title and fighting some of these top-level guys.
Well, you guys are both in a great division with a lot of opportunities. Actually, for both you guys, whether that's moving up, moving forward, both a lot of opportunities. Is there anyone not looking past this fight, but if there is anyone you would maybe like to eyeball if you were to get past this fight unscathed?
I always expect to win. The times I've lost, I've been very shooken up, kind of heartbroken, and, I didn't go out there like, oh, well, this is this person, so if I just put up a good fight, man, this guy, I never go out there like that. I always go out thinking I'm going to win, okay. And if it doesn't happen, then it's like it's a shattering moment. So for me, I have to look ahead. I have to assume that I've done enough and trained enough, and I'll do enough on the day of the fight to get the job done. So from that point, it's a chess match. If this guy beats this guy, then this guy should be available. If I fight this guy, this will move me up the next shot. So guys like Carlos Condit, and I'm watching this fight against him and Matt Brown very closely. Guys like Rory McDonald, he's fighting against my teammate Robbie Lawler coming up. That's a tough matchup. You never know how any of these welterweight bouts are going to go. I'm hoping my teammate pulls it off. But if he slips on the banana peel, and Rory finds a way to make it out and win this fight, then Rory's openly said that he's not going to fight GSP. Well, I will. So if the body projects me there, then I want those bouts that are going to get me closer to the title. It can be 1, it can be 2. Shoot, I can go out here and steal the show and have the greatest performance in the entire card, and I can put my name in the hat for immediate. Hey, this guy don't want to fight you. This guy's fighting X amount of times, and he's already had a shot. It's not the old school where, the guys that are ranked this move up. It's just ticket sales, and it's matchup. And I think I'm a better matchup than most against George St. Pierre. So, I'm going to squeak, and I'll see what happens.
Now, obviously, you're not complacent with where you're at, but I mean, for you as a UFC fighter coming up, you have to kind of stop and say, "Wow, I am on probably the biggest UFC card of the year. I'm sharing the main card with George St. Pierre and some of the biggest names that have been in the UFC." Just talk about getting there, and are you kind of looking around like, "Wow, I've made it," and like you said, I still have a lot to go.
I haven't really done anything yet, though. In my career, I've always seen myself making it to the UFC. I never, since I started fighting, it was never an option for me not to be at this point. So for me, it's not a wow. I'm humbled, and I'm definitely grateful to be showcased on this card, especially with the main event being the top welterweights in the world, and then me fighting another top welterweight. I'm honored that these guys will put me on this card, but. These guys have already made a stamp. George St. Pierre leaves, he's made a stamp. So is Koscheck. And even Hendricks. Hendricks, he's still got 1 or 2 more fights before he's, quote-unquote, has left a stamp and addition in the sport. So for me, it's not focusing on that, not getting caught up in the hype, not really, playing into the fact that it's such a big card. It's the 20th anniversary. George St. Pierre's on the card. You're fighting this guy. That's how you go out there and you look like you're having a bad dream. You got those big, dazed eyes, and you out there getting those UFC jitters. I'm trying to focus on avoiding that at all costs, focusing on the opponent, focusing on one single fight, everything that's within my control. If I can do those things, I think everything else is going to fall on top of each other. I think if I go out there and fight hard and win, all the opportunities that I will be looking for will come because of that. So that's what I'm focusing on.
Tyron, thank you so much for joining us. You are a true professional, and we look forward to seeing you fight this weekend in Vegas on the main card there.
Well, I appreciate it. You guys can find me on Twitter at TW30DLEY. You can check my gym out, ATTEvolution.com. Going out here representing for our city. I appreciate the support. St. Louis has really stepped up and been a huge supporter of this whole movement with the UFC 167 and 20th anniversary. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys when I get back with the victory.
Absolutely. We love it, Tyron. Thank you, man.
All right.
What a mentality of a champion.
I love it. He's kind of calling out GSP. He's like, give it to me.
Yep. No pressure, just
absolutely. Good for Tyron. That is good stuff. And of course, he came out of the Shamrock Fighting Championships, and so it's good to see the local kid doing well.
Yeah,
absolutely doing well. Well, some other things we do want to touch on. Here locally. I believe it's November 27th. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I think that's the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. But the Guns and Hoses are going to be fighting. And mixed martial arts is going on this time. Now, the real benefit of this is all the money raised goes to the fallen police and firefighters' families. And that's a big thing. But now, are you going to be there and part of this for the Guns and Hoses?
Yeah, we've actually had some guys. The gym I'm at, we're an official Guns and Hoses sponsor. So we've had some guys coming in. I'm going to love going there, having a good time, watching these guys. I mean, these guys are training with us. They're hanging in there with us. It's they're taking it serious.
Yeah.
The guys they're taking it serious. So look forward to their hard work really, really paying off. And then also just be part of that. Because like you said, it really is a great tradition St. Louis has. And Yeah,
I think they're $10 tickets. So, I mean, you want to talk about being able to see, and it will be ran like a pro event.
Yeah.
They will have everything, like you said, a Vegas-style atmosphere there. And these guys, this is the police department and the fire department. They're in good shape. These are athletic guys, and like you said, they're going to leave it out there for you.
I'd pay $10 to go see the Ring Girls alone.
There's a good one. I love it, Ryan Sutton. Also, Shamrock Fighting Championships at River City Casino, December 7th. Always a good time. I've not been at that venue. I hear it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Look out for that to be one of the most sought after places to fight in the Midwest.
Absolutely.
Here in no time, that will be one of the. I mean, that's going to start bringing in big names, big cards, and big action. That's
I hear it's beautiful, and on top of that, the tickets are going quickly. There's very limited space left. You want to check out the Shamrock Fighting Championships website. They'll tell you how to get in touch with what few tickets they do have left. Now, real quickly, we always kind of end things talking about some locals. St. Louis sports. Of course, the Blues are looking good. Are you a hockey fan?
I am a hockey fan. Don't follow it as close as I follow MMA.
Right, I got you. Well, there's fighting in it. I figured you'd be part of it. Yeah, but the Blues are looking good.
Looking great.
Really happy with it. I tell you what, watch out for that Missouri Tiger football team.
It's number 9 right now in the country.
Unbelievable.
Quote me on that. Yeah, number 9.
I think that's right. I do. Yeah.
9 in the country right now. They recruit a bunch of guys from in-state. Everyone thought, the SEC move is going to. Look at us now.
Unbelievable. I think this is year 2 in the SEC, and they're in the top 10, and they're making some noise. Even with their starting quarterback going down, this team is still very much a contender.
Yeah, they're in contention for their division, and then if they lock up their division, they could be a huge spoiler for one of those major teams actually getting into a national championship. It's interesting. Yeah, it's always an interesting dynamic whenever the bowl series stuff really gets down to the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely. Ask Oregon. They pretty much, I think, bowed out of the BCS with a loss to Stanford. And I tell you, watch out. The SEC championship, Missouri can really play a spoiler to Alabama if they were able to go in there and pull one away and really put themselves on the map then. Also, talking football, the St. Louis Rams. It was good to see them go down to Houston and tear them up.
Yeah.
I think the team is kind of, to borrow one for Dick Vermeil, rallying around, Kellen Clinton.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing a good job, and I like the Rams defense. I think they're going to be good for years to come.
It's a really tough pill to swallow, losing 2 games in a row like we did. Not to dwell on the negative, but I mean, last rallying drives, and then to go and beat up on a team like Indy that had, coming off.
Indy, I said Houston. I don't know. Good catch.
Beating up Indy, after they've beat some high-level teams themselves. I mean,
absolutely.
They knocked off Denver.
So
it's a good feeling for St. Louis. That being said, I don't want to be a pessimist. I don't want it to be.
You're not booking your postseason tickets just yet.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Not booking those. I just don't want to be the let down kid at Christmas who finds the Xbox box and then opens up to new socks. So
I understand that, but I'm happy with the defense. And here's my question. Someone brought this up to me. Do you feel like they're playing harder for their backup quarterback than they were for Sam Bradford?
It could be because they could start feeling like the responsibility's on them. In a team sport like that, there's an interesting dynamic. You have guys who feel like, okay, we're going to show up, we're going to do our jobs. But then the team leaders, Sam Bradford, high-profile player for us. Those guys really trust him, really like him in the locker room. So there's always that feeling like, okay, he's the big dog, he's the general. A guy like that goes down, and a lot of people start stepping up because, those guys, they want to assume the role too.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan Sutton, thank you for joining us today. It was great to have you here.
Honored to be here. I'll leave up the real professional duties to Jesse when he gets back, but love being on the show.
I don't know. I'm telling Jesse you might need to update that resume. Well, for fill-in Ryan Sutton, I'm Chad Range, the man behind the cameras, Kevin Fowler. This has been the Hit Squad, and you've been watching us on 101sports.com.